Morning, guys. All right, today we're going to talk about gun cleaning by request. So, if you guys have something you would like me to talk about in any of the field of gun ology, feel free to send me an email about it and tell me what you would like to know a little bit more about. So, today we're talking about gun cleaning. Start off with basically your test answers on gun cleaning. What do you do? How do you be safe around cleaning guns? All right. Now, the test answers for that is you want the gun to be unloaded, action open, no ammo present. Okay. Obviously, you need the gun to be unloaded if you're going to clean it. Action open, you guys remember from the rifles, that just means the bolt's open. If we had a chamber flag, we could have a chamber flag in it. Of course, we'd have to take it out through part of the cleaning, but the action open lets you see inside the gun and make sure that there's no ammo in it. And then no ammo present. If you remember from when we were talking about the dry fire type stuff, if there's no ammo in that room, it doesn't magic its way back into the gun, causing accidents. All right. And if there's ammo that you can get a hold of, you're going to wind up dropping it back in the gun at some point, and then making yourself having a problem. I'll tell you how that usually works. You'll clean the gun, get it all the way done, and you're ready to leave. And so you'll load the gun back up like you're going to carry it, and then you'll notice that you missed some point. Okay, you didn't get the front sight. There's dust on the front sight. So crap, you'll grab your toothbrush, you'll hit the front sight, and you'll get the dust off of it. Then you'll notice, oh man, I didn't get this on the back strap here either. So you'll hit that too. And I'll tell you that when you've hit the second thing, you forgot where you're at. Now you're back to gun cleaning mode, but you've got a loaded gun. Super, super dangerous at that point. Okay, so if you can't get the ammo won't magic its way back into the gun. So you have to have a place in your house that's an ammo-free zone where you can go to and you can clean the gun and not have to worry about problems, accidents. All right, so unloaded, action open, no ammo present. When should you clean a gun? All right, test answers. When you should clean a gun: every time you use it, of course, but also after a period of storage. All right, the after every use is kind of obvious, but the period of storage one's a little bit confusing. Typically, you would think, well, between hunting seasons would be what we're talking about. And that's true. Like if you took the gun out in the woods and hunted, you're probably going to clean the gun when you put it back into storage, and it'll probably sit there for most of a year. And then you're going to take it out again at the end of that year before you go hunting next time. There's no telling what could have happened to the gun in the intervening time. All right, some part of it might have rusted, a spring might have rusted and broke, or some critter might have built a nest in the barrel. All right, spiders, something like that might have built a nest in the barrel, and then you've got a bore obstruction. So if the gun's been stored for a period of time, you should clean it, all right, before you go using it. And that counts for buying a brand new gun, or especially buying a used gun from a gun store. You need to clean the gun before you use it. And also, if you are going to get into concealed carry, all right, hopefully your guns are carried more than they're shot. All right, and you do want to shoot them periodically, but if you've carried a gun on your hip for 3 months or 6 months and it's now full of lint, well, that could lead to problems if you need to shoot it. So I would prefer, if you got the opportunity, if you could shoot about once a month, then you can clean the gun and everything stays kind of nice that way. But most of us don't get to the range that often. All right, so it would behoove you to at least every 3 months get the thing out and at least blow the lint out of it. All right, get some of that canned air that you use to clean your keyboards out with, blow the dust out of your keyboards, and at least blow the dust out of your gun that way, the lint out of your gun, so that you don't have to worry about it causing a malfunction should you ever need it. All right, so that's your period of storage. So what we're doing, and I'm actually going to do a gun cleaning video here, and I'm not actually going to clean a gun. The reason I'm not going to do that is there's so many different guns out there. There's no way I could stand up here and show you intricate, detailed strip downs of all the guns, or even just general kinds. Like if I did revolver, semi-auto, shotgun, and there's hundreds of videos for the specific gun that you want to clean. All right, so I'm just going to get this into generalities. What you are trying to do when you're cleaning a gun is generally we're wanting to remove the residues that are deposited on the gun when you shoot it. Okay, when you fire a gun, there's three main residues that are deposited. Okay, you've got gunpowder residue, residues from the bullet itself, and then residue from the case, that the brass case. All right, so the gunpowder and carbon residue is the most you're going to find. That's the black crusty stuff, sometimes kind of oily stuff that's inside the gun. Inside the barrel, you'll typically find either lead or copper foul. It's called fouling. And then in parts of the action and sometimes on the outside of the gun, you'll find brass, that from the brass casings as they get, forced in and out and slapped against the side of the gun. And you want to get most of that stuff off, okay? There's all kinds of chemicals they put out there to help you achieve this. There's some that are general, and there's some that are very, very specific, okay? And by general, I mean like it's a do-all chemical. Typically, if something's a do-all, it does everything okay, but it doesn't do anything really good. But then you get into all the different specific ones, okay? You've got a lead solvent, you've got a brass solvent, you got a copper solvent, you got a gunpowder solvent, you got all these different solvents. I will give you a caution right now. If you're going to do one of these very, very detailed cleanings, you want to make sure, if you're using multiple chemicals to clean the gun, all the chemicals come from the same company, same brand, all right? I know these guys that get into gun cleaning and they'll make their own witch's brew of gun cleaning chemicals and stuff. Well, you're not a chemist, and even if you were, you probably don't know what all is inside that particular gun chemical that you're using. So you don't know what the reaction is going to be to pouring all this crap together or just getting it mixed together on the gun. You could wind up acid etching your gun. So make sure that if you're using all from the same brand, those companies, they know what's in each of their chemicals, and they make them so they don't negatively interact with each other. Okay, so stick with one brand, and I'll say it won't really matter. Everybody's got their favorite. All right. I don't really have a particular favorite. And I'm not going to really even talk bad about any particular one. But I don't really have a favorite. Actually, if I use anything, typically it's something like the military CLP, Cleaner Lubricant Protected. And the reason I use that, it's a general one. You don't have to use solvent and lubrication. Typically, if you're going to clean a gun with a solvent, you have to clean it with a solvent, and then you have to take all the solvent off and use the lubrication. The military CLP, it's all one shot. Okay, so you use it to clean the gun, and it's already lubricated as you're done. Okay, I like that about the military one. Well, what are we doing when we're cleaning a gun? Okay, obviously we're trying to protect the gun, preserve the gun, and keep it in a state of readiness. All right, so we want to clean all that crap off of the gun. While we're doing that, we're checking it for damage. Okay, anything in there that looks like it's broken, bent, worn, that to a point where it needs to be replaced, we need to be looking for that. I'm going to give you some cautions. Honestly, what I think happens a lot of times is people will go overboard on it. And honestly, particularly, believe it or not, it's the military. All right. When I was in the military, every time we would shoot a gun, obviously we would have to clean it. That's fine, except for the way we would clean it. We would clean the gun for a minimum of an hour. And I'll tell you this, it takes me an hour to clean a gun. Okay, I can clean any gun completely and correctly in an hour. That's about what it takes. So that's what we would do. We would shoot a gun. After we got done with that whole exercise, you'd have to clean the gun. You'd get at least an hour to do that, but then you would do it 4 consecutive days for at least an hour, and sometimes up to 4 hours each of those days. All right. Part of that in the military is just them finding something for you to do. But I think you can overdo it, and you wind up, if you're not careful, doing more damage to the gun by over cleaning it than you do if you didn't go that far. Okay. What do I mean by that? You can get to digging around in there with certain tools, especially like dental tools and stuff like that, and scratching and stuff in there, and you can cause wear. And I'm going to tell you the worst one is, though, cleaning the barrel. All right? When you're cleaning the barrel on the gun, this is one of the most critical places when you're cleaning the gun. And if you can at all possible, do not clean the barrel from the muzzle end. Okay, don't take your cleaning rod and punch it through the barrel this way. Okay, if you can take the gun apart and go at it from the chamber end, that's by far preferable. Okay, and the reason for that is when you've taken that cleaning rod, most cleaning rods are steel. Okay, so when you're punching it through that barrel, that steel rod is wearing against some part of the internal surface of the muzzle. All right. Eventually you can get it out of round. All right. When it gets out of round, then it screws the accuracy up of the gun. All right. That bullet needs to leave the muzzle in a perfect circle. All right. If you screw that up, it's going to leave different every time it leaves the barrel. All right. So if you can, you want to clean from the chamber end. You want to take the gun apart and take the barrel out so that you can clean from the chamber end, if that's at all possible. If not, you need to be really careful. They do make devices, these little cones that you put down in the muzzle so you can clean through there and it won't let you wear against it. There's other things you can use. Something that's less abrasive, like if you get, they have cleaning rods that are made out of fiberglass. They have those pull through that are made out of nylon or cotton or whatever, the boar snake kind of thing. But you don't want to use a steel cleaning rod if you're going through the muzzle, okay? Because you're going to wind up wearing the muzzle and then you're going to degrade the accuracy of your gun. All right, so, but yeah, don't overdo it. That's the thing, you know. A good hour per gun, you should be good to go on it. I'll tell you, in a lot of it depends on what's the purpose of the gun. You know my range guns. I've just told you guys it takes me an hour to clean a gun correctly. All right. Those range guns, I'm not spending an hour per gun. You remember how many guns we had laid out there? If I spent an hour per gun every day, then I would have nothing. That's all I would get done is cleaning guns. So I don't do that. And I'll tell you, most commercial ranges don't do that. They clean guns just enough to keep them running reliably and not breaking. All right. They don't want them to get so dirty that they're damaging the gun, but they're not going to clean the guns every day. All right. You just, that's all you'd wind up doing if you did that. Okay, now they'll give them like hasty cleans. They'll knock the heavy stuff off of it, but they're not going to do a full detail clean on it every day. If it's your self-defense gun, something you're relying on or you're planning on relying on for self-defense, obviously, or if you're in the woods hunting with it, obviously you're going to want to make sure that thing's right. Just don't go overboard and damage the gun when you're cleaning it. Okay, so when you're the tools you're using, you want to try to make sure that they're softer than the gun itself. All right, so the gun's made out of steel mostly. So if you're going to use a toothbrush, use a toothbrush that has plastic bristles, maybe copper or brass, but you don't want to use one that's got steel bristles. Same thing with the boar brushes. Boar brushes with copper teeth on them. You don't want to use ones that's got steel teeth on them. Stuff like that. You just want to try to avoid doing more damage to the gun by cleaning it, over cleaning it, than it would be if you just left the thing dirty in the first place. You want to get the gun, if it's for self-defense purposes, good and clean, but without damage. Okay. Hope this has helped. Feel free to send me critiques on it, but also anything you would like to see or hear in the future. Okay. Thanks. Have a good day.